Okay, so what I'm going to do is a real-time video of, let's see how I'm going to reinforce this. So about here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, it's a brad point, which means it has a teeny tiny point which bites into the wood. You see how it's stuck? And what that does is it gives me a place. Let's see, the head's not quite, it's not going to quite fit in there, but I am tunneling down and I'm making room for these cap heads. So I just want to flatten it out so the screw can go straight in. I need to enlarge that hole just a little bit, and I have a countersink bit that might, I don't have all my tools here, but I think I have enough. And then lastly, I'm going to take a bit that's about the same diameter as the screw. If it's even bigger than the screw, that's fine. All I want to do is go through the plywood, and there's going to be the hole. There's going to be a little bit of a hole left by that pin, the point in the brad bit. So that little point right there. You just want to center your bit in there, and then it feels like that hit. All right, and so now I want to do is get a, let's see, I'll do a check on the head. So now the head will seat in there thanks to the countersink bit. That's why I use that. So I'm going to, yes. All right, I'm going to vacuum that up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive these home. Okay, so I forgot to grab my trusty little Milwaukee driver. It's just a super basic tool. It has torque control and has takes hex shanked bits. So it takes this kind of end and it just plugs in. So very compact, really strong. So I like it for a lot of things, especially driving Kreg screws, because I can adjust how far it's driving. As far as the screw, it has a square drive, and so that's what the how close I can get with this, but that's what the bit looks like. It's a square on the end, and so that what that does is it gives you more torque. With the Phillips bits, they have a tendency to jump out of the head of the screw. This will give you more power here. You'll see that I'm kind of pumping the switch here. I'm doing that in case I start to hear a cracking noise, which I shouldn't. The other thing, it's a detail, but if you don't know woodworking, you don't know this. And then if you do know woodworking, you may be familiar with this, but this has, it's designed to cut into the wood, and then these threads will actually kind of evacuate the chips a little bit. So it almost acts like a drill. And so this is fine thread, just by comparison. This is coarse thread. You can see the difference. And so if you're going into soft woods where you need a bigger bite so it doesn't pull out, you use the coarse thread. And for finer woods, this is, I think, maple over here. So I was more concerned about cracking with this one. This is green stuff is poplar, and that stuff is pretty soft. So it's great for building the inside of stuff. It's easy to work with, and it's a soft hardwood. But you shouldn't have to worry about splitting with that. But I'm still going to use this instead of the coarse thread. And I'm going to drive this guy in. But these will lock. I made these glue blocks. It's a plywood instead of a solid piece of wood, because there's grain running in both directions. The grain's running this way and it's running that way. Inside the wood here, there's all these layers. And what that does is it keeps it from stretching or swelling too much. It's more stable, holds its shape. And so A lot of the old glue blocks, they would be strong with the grain running this way, but then they'd be weak over here. And then they'd get loose, and then they get banged, and then they'd fall off, and then this would collapse. So that's nice and tight. I think we're set there. So yeah, so now this is rock solid. It was flopping around, and I wasn't sure why, but that was it. So just this happened to be my kit. You can also use what's known as a Forstner bit, or just a larger bit. If I had a bigger drill bit set, you just make a little bit bigger hole. You start even with the wood, and then you go down as it bites, and then you dig in so you get a straight shot from this block into there, and that takes care of this angle. And then I like these Kreg style pocket screws, the cap headed screws. And then you just make sure that you're going to have enough. You don't want to go through, obviously, but you got to have enough to bite about halfway, a little bit more into your wood, so you have some good holding power. So there you go. Like and subscribe if this helps you out. Victory to you and your shop. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.